The Columbia and Kootenay Railway Slocan Lake Branch is located in British Columbia in the West Kootenays. It's west of Kootenay Lake and it's east of the Arrow Lakes. It's also Slocan Junction, which is the mile 0, is halfway between Nelson and Castlegar on the Kootenay River. The railway itself, Slocan Lake Branch, starts at Slocan Junction and follows the Slocan River up to the end of the Slocan Lake at Slocan City. I also mentioned that from Slocan City to Rosebery is a Sternwheeler and barge service that we will cover in this Railfan video. Okay, we're going to start our railfanning today at Slocan Junction. This is the start of the Slocan Lake Branch. At Slocan Junction we have a passenger station here that has platforms on both the main line and the Slocan Lake Branch line. Straight ahead of us, past the water tower, is the main line that comes from Nelson, so that would be heading north to Nelson. The main line passes to the right of the picture and then out of the right side, heading down to Robson, which is near Castlegar. The left track coming towards us is the Slocan Lake Branch, that started mile 0. And then also we have the Y that is connecting between, coming from Robson, heading up to Slocan City, which is directly in front of us. What we have is, this is what we've been waiting for. This is work extra number 52. Number 52 is a Class A3P 440 built in 1882. This is the work train, and it's just coming up from Robson right now, passing through the Y, and it will head up to Slocan City from here. Standing on the platform at Slocan Junction. I'm on the platform that goes to the Slocan Lake Branch, and we're just waiting for extra 404, the Nelson to Slocan City freight, to come through. This train is a local switcher, so it will switch all the industries and tracks from Slocan Junction up to Slocan City. The engine leading is number 404, a Class L1 280 built in 1886. And we have it pulling a couple flat cars and a box car that will be dropped here at Slocan Junction. Then we have a number of empty box cars that will be heading all the way back up to Revelstoke to the main line. And then we have 3 box cars that are hauling lead bullion from the Nelson smelter. So when the train stops here, we're going to hop on board the caboose and ride the caboose up to Gusulius and sort of take in the scenery and along the Slocan River. Here we are now, we've stopped. So we'll just hop on board that caboose and carry on our journey from here at Slocan Junction. We were on board the extra 404 and the cupola on the caboose. We've left Slocan Junction and we're heading for Gusulius. We're traveling along the Slocan River here. So the Slocan Lake Branch was built by the Canadian Pacific Railway's Columbia and Kootenay Railway in 1897 under the Columbia and Kootenay Charter. The line is 31.3 miles long and runs on about a 1% grade as it follows the Slocan River, which is to our left, all the way up to Slocan City. The railway was designed to move rail cars from Nelson and the interior up to Slocan City. At Slocan City, the rail cars are put on a rail barge that is moved up Slocan Lake to Rosebery by a stern-wheeler and a rail barge. At Rosebery, the rail cars are unloaded and they're moved by the C&KR's Nakusp and Slocan Railway from Rosebery to Nakusp, which is on the Arrow Lakes. And there at the Nakusp, they're reloaded on a rail barge, and the rail cars are moved up the Arrow Lakes to Arrowhead, where they're offloaded. And from Arrowhead, it's about 30 miles up to Revelstoke, where they join the main line of the CPR, and the box cars can then be, and the cars can be moved throughout Canada. The reason this line was built is that the Arrow Lakes, which was the main route for moving rail cars from Revelstoke down to Robson, which is near Castlegar, suffer from low water in the summer and the fall and freezing in the winter with ice. So the barge service was interrupted frequently. So by using Slocan Lake, which is a very deep lake that doesn't freeze, they could have rail service, uninterrupted rail service from Revelstoke down into the Kootenays through down to Nelson all year long with no interruptions. Okay, we're just arriving due to Lewis now, which is a small town on the Slocan River. There's a lumber mill here, and the engine will switch out the pick up loaded lumber cars in an empty box car, and then we'll continue on up to Winlaw. We're going to jump off of 404 here at the flag stop, and we'll wait here for number 43, the passenger train, to continue on, and we'll ride in comfort the rest of the way up to Slocan City. So we will just wait for us to stop here, and say we'll just hop off and get ourselves down to the flag stop. So just leaving Goodless, and our next stop will be Winlaw, which is at mile 18.5. Okay, we're arriving in Winlaw. Winlaw is at mile 18.5, and it was named for T.B. Winlaw, one of the local sawmill operator. So we're just on the platform, on the combine platform here, so we'll tuck our head in so we don't knock into the flag stop. And we're just picking up a few passengers here before we move on. Next stop is Lemon Creek. Lemon Creek was named after Joe Lemon, an old prospector from the early days. Again, pick up a few people here at the flag stop, and then we will carry on to Slocan City. Okay, we're just arriving at Slocan City here. We're going to take the train right into the station here. The station is the final stop on the schedule, arriving at 11:30 on time. However, the train will unload passengers, freight, and then it will, the engine will run around us, go over to the Y, back down, couple onto the combine, onto the coach, and then move the train over to the wharf to meet the SS Slocan. Okay, we're just backing down to the barge slip here. You can see the barge apron there in the distance. And if we just we'll swing over to the other side here real quickly. You can see there's a cordwood wagon in front of us, but you can see the SS Slocan just in the distance coming our way. So we'll be meeting Slocan. Arrives at noon, and we'll be swapping over onto the SS Slocan when it arrives. The SS Slocan was built in 1897. It was used to move the barges along the lake, and it was also joined by a tug called the Sandon. The lake steamers were important as the main route from Revelstoke to Nelson was through Slocan Lake. This steamboat service with the barges, the steamboat service lasted in the 50s. The barges, actually, the rail barge lasted until December 1998. So from 1897 to 1988, 101 years, the rail barge service was operating on Slocan Lake. In the distance, we can actually see Slocan City as we're heading down towards the barge slip and the Slocan wharfs. Okay, we're just arriving on the SS Slocan at Slocan City. We just untied from the rail barge and coupled it to the rail tracks, and we're now just coming in at the Slocan City wharf. We've got train number 4444, the passenger train that will exchange passengers and freight with the SS Slocan on the wharf. We've also got extra 404 there, ready to start switching the rail barge in a minute or two. Okay, we have number 44 having finished exchanging passengers and freight with the SS Slocan. The train will now pull off the wharf, head up onto the track, and then back into the Slocan City Station, where again passengers and freight changeover, and it will stay there until its scheduled departure at 13:20. Okay, we have extra 404 picking up the second cut of 5 boxcars coming from the barge. These 5 boxcars are all general merchandise from across Canada through Revelstoke. All 5 of these boxcars will go down to Nelson, where they'll be put into the freight warehouse and distributed from that point onwards. Okay, we have the second set of 5 boxcar string going on the second rail onto the barge. You'll notice the SS Slocan has now backed up from the wharf and is actually tied up to the rail barges. The rail barges are tied beside the Slocan, and this is how the barges are moved between Slocan City and Rosebery on the Slocan Lake. There's 2 trips a day, so you have a morning trip coming down and returning, and then you have an afternoon trip. So a fair amount of activity in terms of rail barge movement. Okay, we have extra 404. Completed all its switching, the train is built, air brakes are tested, and we're just heading off here from Slocan City, heading back to Nelson. The train will do again, local switching going down the valley, and then the freight cars will be interchanged down in Nelson. We have the SS Slocan tied up to the rail barge, which will be departing in about 5 minutes, heading back up to Rosebery with the different cars. And we have passenger train number 44 just still holding at the station, awaiting departure at 13:20. That's it for our rail fanning today on the Columbia and Kootenay Railway, Slocan Lake Branch, September 1902.